All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, I have seen the Battlefield leaks. If you've been online over the last 48 hours, chances are you have as well. Now, obviously, I can't show any of the leaks in this video, but I do want to make a video talking about it, giving you guys my thoughts. A lot of you guys have hit me up. We set up a channel in my Discord to kind of talk about all of the leaks. And I will say, for the first time in a long time, it actually feels like people are very, very happy with the direction that a Battlefield game is taking. And I think the general sentiment around this leaked gameplay, I use leaked very loosely here, but the general sentiment is that EA and DICE might have locked in a little bit, and it seems like potentially they're listening to their consumers for the first time in a long time. Who would have thought? Now, I gotta make it clear right off rip, I am not getting hyped for this gameplay. The images of the launch of 2042 are still burned into my memory, but I will say for the first time in a long time, I'm actually feeling really, really good about a AAA FPS release. The player movement feels incredibly grounded. There's not a lot of crouch sliding and jumping around, and it's such a refreshing take from Call of Duty and other games that are just so fast-paced, so balls to the walls ripping around. Now, I know players at a higher caliber are going to be able to utilize the player controller to its maximum ability, and I have to say, whoever is playing the game in these clips that we have seen should probably uninstall and never touch a video game again. But what we can extract from the animations, the player controller, is that the game is actually very well, I would say, grounded in what I'm personally looking for from an FPS. One thing that I was actually really surprised about watching all of these different clips is how good the audio is. From the explosions to the gunfire happening off in the distance or around corners, the sound design is actually pretty fucking solid for the state that the game is in. Now, there are a lot of bugs. The game is still in early, pre-alpha testing. So there's clips where parts of the gun are floating in front of the weapon. There's a lot of debris that's currently floating around, and I'm not sure if some of them happen after big destruction elements, and then there's just bricks and stuff floating, and they haven't really got that down pat yet. But I have noticed some visual errors, and obviously the maps are not completed yet. There's a lot of places where the textures are just very simple, they still have to go through and do another pass. But what I can say is this makes me infinitely more excited than any of the trailers that we saw for Battlefield 2042. This just has the setting, it has the vibe, and a lot of people are pointing out, this looks like a Battlefield game from 10 years ago, but with more modern graphics, which that's exactly what we have been asking for. Now, going through the official Battlefield posts about gunplay and gameplay and what they're working on, I'm happy to say they're focusing and optimizing for 60 hertz tick rate servers, which is a nice, refreshing return to form for not only Battlefield, but shooters in general. I don't get how we've been so conditioned to be playing on 10, 20, 30 tick rate servers when we're playing shit like Call of Duty. And my fuck, we have a scoreboard. Woo! Awesome. That's cool to see. It's really tough to talk about this stuff without being able to show on screen and break it down and look at it. One thing I'm not a fan of right now is the size of the UI that's on screen. I'm hoping that we're able to adjust that. Again, if you guys want to see this gameplay, there's gameplay everywhere. We have been archiving all of the leaks in our Discord. Make sure you're in there. The link is down in the description if you want to join the conversation there. But the UI itself and the HUD itself is very reminiscent of old school Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. It's a little big. I'm hoping we can adjust some things about it. I really hope they take a page out of what Black Ops 6 just did, where you can actually just adjust the HUD to your heart's content. That would go super hard. But I'm watching the gameplay, I'm seeing the vibes, I'm seeing the HUD, the player movement, the gunplay, even some vehicle gameplay we've seen. This is the true sequel to Battlefield 4. Now, I haven't played it. I'm just going off of what I can see and what I can tell from gameplay from somebody who I don't think has ever really played an FPS before. The one thing I can say that I am excited about is they're already experimenting with new features. They've implemented soldier dragging that apparently was canceled in Battlefield 5, and there's a clip of that in our Discord of a guy running up to a soldier in the middle of the street, dragging him to safety, and then being able to revive him or heal him from there. That's cool to see. That to me is what a proper sequel is. When you're talking about Battlefield 4 and this being a proper sequel to that game, it is Battlefield 4 with better graphics, more features that are additive to the already core gameplay experience, but that core gameplay experience remains relatively the same with more stuff on top of it that complements it. That's what this game looks like. And oh baby, the destruction that I'm seeing in this game is so refreshing, man. I watched a clip of this tank. The guy didn't know how to fucking drive it, but he ended up running through a building. He gets up onto the sidewalk, crushes a car, drives it through a building, and the building just like collapses on top of him. This is like, I don't want to get excited. This is Battlefield, dude. There's another clip where these two guys are like running down a street. They turn a corner. There's a tank going off like down the road. They pull out RPGs. They take it out. Like it... I really want a good Battlefield game again. And I gotta say, even watching this, it makes me look at Delta Force a lot differently. And what I mean by that is, and obviously Delta Force is a game you guys are seeing on screen here. Delta Force doesn't hold a candle to a good Battlefield title. And watching this gameplay, even though it's in a pre-alpha state, you can see a lot of the textures aren't done, the visuals aren't done. You can tell that Battlefield, just at its core, is such a better fucking experience than Delta Force, at least in like their Havoc Warfare, like Battlefield mode. Like I would play the Battlefield Labs pre-alpha 10 out of 10 times because it looks way more in line with what I want out of a Battlefield experience. Man, I am remaining cautiously optimistic after seeing what I have seen over the last 24 hours. I don't want to get hyped because I'm waiting for DICE and EA to just fuck this up. I hate it because I want to look at this and be super excited, and there's a part of me where I'm just like, man, I actually might think Battlefield is back, bro. We can't get there, or at least I can't get there, because it's a Western AAA FPS studio. There's a catch somewhere along the lines that is going to fuck this entire thing up, and I don't know what it is yet. If I have to judge the game based on what I am seeing right now, I'm actually really pumped, because it seems like maybe, finally, we got through to them and told them what we wanted, and they're actually listening. But until we can play the game for ourselves, until there's a beta, until we can actually judge and get in and, you know, get into the nitty gritty and play the game, we're never going to know for sure. So I'm going to say this: follow the channel, follow all of the conversations around this game, because we're going to find out eventually if this is the return to form for Battlefield. Based on what I have seen, I want to say yes, but based on what I know, there's still more to the story. Let me know what you guys think of the leaks down below. Again, I wish I could show it in this video, but I don't really feel like taking a DMCA strike from DICE right now. So if you want to see the gameplay, it's fucking everywhere. Join the Discord. There's a bunch of conversations happening around every clip that people can find. Battlefield season is upon us, and I'm so anxious to see more. Leave a like on the video and subscribe for everything FPS. My next video is going to be on Fragpunk, that I know you guys have been asking my thoughts on. We'll get into it, because that's a whole other can of worms. My name is Big Fry, and I'll see you on the next one.